And so you see what I've been telling you. It's nothing like it seems. It's what I've been telling you. Oh, you'd learn what I mean if you came. But the risk, are you willing to take?
The first bow I ever bought myself was a Martin bow. The first deer I ever harvested in my life was with a Martin bow. My first archery tournament contract was shooting a Martin bow. Over the years, I've shot a lot of different bows, but I feel like that my archery, hunting, and tournament career has come full circle. I'm once again shooting the bow that I took my first deer with and that I had my first archery contract with.
Life has only begun. Our feet were fashioned to run. Oh, and we'll go farther than we've been.
I've shot, over the years, a lot of bows, but I feel like things have come full circle, and I'm once again shooting a Martin bow and loving shooting that bow. It shoots good. The hunting bows are great. The tournament bows aim amazingly. Couldn't be happier about my new move.
We're not made to be what's before us here. So you see what I've been telling you. It's nothing like it seems. It's what I've been telling you. Oh, it's what I've been telling you.
Well, we have left the hunt club. November the 17th is a Sunday, and we are headed to the state of Kansas, land of the giants as well, and we're hunting with Josh Workman, a good friend of a very good friend, Glenn Whitney. And Josh has got some incredible property on the Kansas River. I think a rut may be in a little bit of a lockdown. I think the bucks are between does, but it definitely does in heat. Hopefully we can catch one with the doe or between does and get this Kansas tag field, and then we'll head back to the state of Illinois and the hunt club.
Full Draw Adventures is brought to you by Swap Broadheads, drain your game. Shine Sense, works anywhere, anytime. Dead Center Archery Products, the best stabilization money can buy. True Ball and Excel Archery, others claim it, we prove it. Threads Custom Bowstrings, performance, reliability, success.
I haven't hunted Kansas in 2 years. This year I had an opportunity to go hunt a new place on the Kansas River with a young man named Josh Workman. This invite came through a great friend of mine, Glenn Whitney, that lives in Georgia. He's a cardiologist. I met him on an elk hunt years and years ago, and him and his good friend Danny Patterson weren't going to get to go this year, so I filled their slots so that they could keep their spots coming back to next year. And we just had a great time at Josh's. Josh and his mom and dad were super accommodating, and man, did they have some big bucks. We're getting things set up so we can just go hunt. Josh has been amazing to work with, showing us places. We're in
the middle of a large corridor of woods with a big waterway on it, and it is funneling the deer phenomenally. We've passed 8 scrapes, multiple horn bushes, and just more deer sign traveling than you can shake a stick at. We're in the chips again for a second place, other than the spot we were at yesterday evening. We're gonna get this stand set and then go get in the other one from yesterday for the rest of the day hunt. We found our tree. As usual, it's crooked and it's not easy to get in. But if you're gonna win against a big, mature whitetail, you gotta pay the price. And that's what we're getting ready to do. Because you know, everything requires hard work.
So Josh started sending us pictures. He had 2 or 3 10s in the upper 60s to mid 70s. He had a couple of 10s that were in the upper 70s, 180s, and a 12 that would probably push 190. And man, we just couldn't wait to get out there and hunt with him.
Come by, and all while trying to get set up. We're in a travel corridor where I think we could make something happen. Lots of crossing on this canal right by us. Seconds. What's that worth in the deer woods?
Full Draw Adventures is brought to you by Ozonics, undetectable, undeniable. Sitka, turning clothing into gear. Black Eagle Arrows, precision carbon arrows. The Ultra Rest by Quality Archery Designs, America's archery accessories.
When we got there, there was a good bit going on, but it was verge of lockdown. And the 120 to 140 deer were moving. The 2.5-year-olds, 3.5-year-olds, they were all over the place. We saw quite a few of those. But I think we were there probably 3 days before we saw our first shooter. And our first shooter was a real shooter.
November 20th, I do believe. We can't make up our mind whether we're in lockdown or not. One area there's bigger bucks bucks without does. Other areas, the big bucks are with does. But I do believe we are in some lockdown, if not complete lockdown for the giants. But we're here, and you can't kill them on the couch. Can't kill them in the truck. So here we are. Another beautiful morning. God's creation. Sitting in a deer stand. That's our first really close encounter with a big deer that we could shoot yet. And Josh has got some really good deer on trail camera, and these bucks are gonna break loose. But that one right there, if he comes back through, he might cause my flip to switch to flip. And if my switch flips, I'll shoot him.
Needless to say, passing that buck got me a earful from my cameraman, Chris Helton. That was his first year with me. We had a great time, but Chris was not used to what normally happens during hunting season. And that was our first really, really good buck that we'd had in bow range. And like I said, there's 170s, 180s on trail camera, and this was a mainframe 8 with split G2s. Phenomenal buck. I mean, maybe one of the better 8 points I would have ever taken in my life. You know, one of the top 2 or 3 for sure. But it's early in the hunt. We've got time, and there's 180s and 90s running around. So today that deer gets a pass. Today's Sitka tip of the week is about the importance of your bowstring. Lots of people spend a lot of money on accessories and end up with $2,000 to $3,000 in a bow setup, which I'm not knocking at. I think it's very important to spend money in the right areas. But a lot of times, something that's overlooked that is paramount in having a bow that shoots well and repeats well is your bowstring. Personally, I outfit all my equipment with Threads custom bowstrings. The important part is that you don't want a string that's going to stretch in the summer or contract in cold temperatures while hunting in the winter, which can cause you to hit hot and miss your animal. Having a bow that hits exactly where you aim every time is vital to your success. And having a consistent, well-built bowstring is as important as any other accessory on your bow.
Full Draw Adventures is brought to you by Martin Archery, designed and engineered to offer the best archery experience available. Whether your game is target or hunting, Martin is at the head of the pack.
We checked the weather for the next few days coming up, and we were going to have some changes, and the lockdown was definitely in. So we needed to put our stands in some new areas, new type of thought process. We went and set 2 or 3 stands in some bottlenecks, and in the area where we passed that really nice split G2 8-point, we found a bottleneck that was going to bring a shooter deer by the stand, whether he was with the doe moving or if he was cruising looking. If he came through that area, he would have to come in bow range. Daylight starts to break, and I look out in the cornfield, and there is this big split G2 8-point with the doe. And you know, a lot of times, my first instinct was, let's get that buck in. And then just through years of hunting and making wrong decisions or bad decisions, I chose not to rattle, chose not to grunt, chose not to try to call that deer in. He's with a doe, and he is tending that doe, and he was running a couple other bucks off, so rattling may have very well pushed that buck and doe further away from us. The best thing we could do is just watch, wait, and let the doe bring this buck by us.
That's what you come to Kansas for right there. We have hunted, we've scouted, we've put our time in. And it all comes together. And when it comes together, it's amazing. It's simply amazing.
Zombie Slayer still intact. And this is the SWAT hybrid broadhead. I shot it in the fixed position, but when it goes through or when it pulls out, it collapses. It can be shot as an expandable or a fixed. I shot it as a fixed. It gives you the versatility that everybody wants, and as a fixed, it flies like a field point. So a lot of really cool things happened on this hunt. New broadhead, new bow, new place, and it all came together that morning. The air found its mark exactly where I aimed, and I watched this deer fall and collapse less than 100 yards from where I shot him. This is the end result of our Kansas River giant, and we're just tickled to death with the deer. We've been hunting down here on the Kansas River with Josh Workman. Josh, thank you so much.
It's great, Bill.
Yeah, we really appreciate you letting us come hunt with you. We had a great time with him and his family, and Josh has got, just as you can see, great deer. Trail camera pics, he does surveillance on his deer. He's got deer like this and deer way bigger. They've shot deer here in the 190s, 200s. we just can't say enough about how excited we are to have this animal in our hands, and the trip we've had. It's just been amazing.